Coding Club. Yay! I'm now a coding pro. Yes, indeed, you are now a coding pro. Today's segment is going to be so awesome. If you are new here, my name is Prince Armstrong, your instructor. Welcome to Armstrong Coding Club. As you can see on your screen, you can see your children putting codes together and indeed coding what's a cartoon car. Today's segment, we are going to look at just that, to code what's a cartoon car. Without wasting my time, let's get started. Okay, welcome back. As you can see on your screen, you can see here we have some couple of sketch. We did some sketch on paints, and you can look at it, take a picture of that, and try your hands on that and put this together and see how you can sketch this cartoon cap. And you can see that I've done some kind of label, and I just label all the cars. This is kind of like an idea respond to how we are going to code the entire car. Now let me explain the whole concept for you guys to understand. Okay, if you're out there, let me hear you say, yay, I'm now a coding pro. Yes, indeed you are. So you can see at the top that we have code a simple cartoon style car using only what HTML and CSS. That's what we are going to look at. And indeed you can see that we have what window left, and this kind of a window. Okay, we also have what window right. You can see kind of a window like this car, of course, kind of a cartoon car, and then we call the entire body itself is going to be called car. Okay, the entire body is going to be called car, and we have the wheel, the wheel right, and we also have the wheel right. How can it be right? Sorry, I made a whole mistake here. It's supposed to be wheel left and wheel right, so let me just correct that. So I just select rectangle here, and I'll select fill with color, this kind of color here, make the color solid, and I'll just drag over it this way and expand it a little bit so that it is to just cover that, because it's supposed to be wheel left. So I'll select my fill with color, select the same color that I use as my background, meaning sky blue. Then I'll go ahead and then select my text and draw. Let me correct that, and I'm going to type. That's supposed to be wheel left. So that is just that, and also that is my wheel left, and that's my wheel right. In addition, also there's one thing I've forgotten again. Let me label that quickly, and I want to call this roof. Okay, this top here is going to be called, we call this side roof, so I'm going to call it roof. So let me select my text box and draw my text box here, and that is going to be roof. Okay, so let me type my roof, so ROOF for my roof. So I'll equally put it here. Okay, so I just planned my car. So this is how we are going to do. We are going to just code this and then put this together using HTML and CSS. And if you are new here, this is Armstrong channel, more or less coding club segment. Let's get started by coding our cartoon car. So as you can see, by the time I'm recording this video, that is on the 9th April, okay, 9th April 2025. So that's the time I'm recording this lesson, and let's dive straight to it. So now I'm going to create a folder on my desktop. This is my desktop. I'm going to create a folder on my desktop, right click on it, and then go to right click on my desktop, click on new, and I'll go ahead and click on folder. Then I'll type cartoon, okay, cartoon car. So that is just that, cartoon car. You can also do the same by creating a folder and call it cartoon car. So that is just that, so cartoon car. Now in this folder, I'm going to then load my Sublime text, okay, and that is my text editor that I'm going to use to code. Then save the web page in the cartoon car. So let's look at that. So I'm going to just launch my Sublime text. Okay, as you can see now, this is my Sublime text, so I just launch it. So I'll go directly and click on File and go to Save As. Then I'll go ahead and select Desktop. So this is where we have Organize, select Desktop. And I'm selecting Desktop. I'll go ahead and then look through and see you have cartoon car here. Double click on that, and I'll save that as index. So that should be in small letters. That's what I wanted. Index.html. Okay, save that. Okay, then I'll go ahead and do my dock decoration. So I'm going to do my dock decoration. So I'll go by saying I'll bring my angle bracket, my left angle bracket, and say HTML. Then after that, now the next I'm going to do that, this is where the title is. I'm going to call it what? Cartoon car. Okay, that's how I'm going to call it, cartoon car. A cartoon with capital C here, and I want to call it cartoon what? Car, nicely. So that is just that. Now after I'm done, I want to show you something on Windows Paint overview. Now on my Windows Paint overview, you can see that I call this body what? Car, and then I have, how do you call it, my window, I call it window right and window left. So this is how we are going to arrange the whole thing here. Now all the label are labeled, okay, so far as the roof, the window left, the window, the wheel left, the wheel right, the car, and the window right. Now these are my div. Okay, I'm going to use the div container and then assign all this in the div container. So basically that is just that. So we are going to create a div container and give it a class and call it what? Car. Then in the car we are going to put the roof, the window left, the window right, the wheel left, and the wheel right in the div of the car. Okay, now you've understood the concept. Let's go directly onto our Sublime Text. So now, as indeed we are in our Sublime Text, now I'll just go directly in the body tag. I'll just bring my div container. So as I brought my div container, I'll give it a class and call that class car, nicely. Now in between the opening tag and the closing tag of the div container here, I'll go ahead and press enter. So now remember that I gave another label called roof, so I'll bring another div container and I'll give it a class and call it, so my class of course, and call the class roof. Nice. Then I'll copy this div container, meaning I'll highlight on it, click on edit, and I'll click on copy. Or you can equally hold on to Ctrl+C to copy. And I'll put a cursor at the end point of the closing tag of the div container, the one I just highlighted. Put a cursor at the end point, press enter, and go back to edit and click on paste. Or you can equally hold on to Ctrl and press V to paste. So I'll go ahead and paste that. So I'm going to have my roof, my window left, my window right, my wheel left, and then my wheel right. So more or less 5 div classes. So I have 1, 2. So let me press enter again, paste that, press enter again, paste that. So I have 4 now. The last one, press enter, paste to 5. So I'm going to change the second div class, the one I just highlighted. I'm going to change that to, I'm changing that to window left. So window, okay, that will be window window left. And after changing that to window left, I'll change here also to window right. Window right. Then after that, I'll change the next one. I'll change it to where we have wheel. Okay, wheel left. And then I'll go ahead and change this also to wheel right. Wheel anyhow. Okay, so now as indeed I've labeled my cars, I just use those labels to just assign my div container so far the classes are concerned. Okay, now after we are done, the next segment is that we are going to now use CSS to style our car and bring our car to life. Okay, but before then, let me show you something. Now when you talk about CSS, if you have your pen there, just take your pen and your notebook and write this. CSS simply means cascading style sheet. That we've learnt that already. If you are new to this channel, you can click on the link, okay, above here, and then you learn more about what CSS is. So far, HTML and CSS is. Now, CSS simply means cascading style sheet. It is used to style HTML elements. Okay, now have we understood this? Let's go directly and see how we can use CSS to style or bring our cartoon car to life. Okay, now I'll go ahead and put the cursor at the end point of my, or the closing tag of my title. So here, and I'll go ahead and press enter. Now I'll bring an element called style. So I'll go ahead and then bring my left angle bracket and type style. Okay, now you can see, now this is my style, okay, and this is the closing tag of my style. So the first one highlighted is known as my opening tag, and this is my closing tag of my style. Now in between the opening tag and the closing tag of the style, I'll go ahead and press enter. Okay, now I know you've done that. Now first we want to focus on how to style our body. Now to style our body, we want to give it a color known as what? Sky blue. Okay, a background color known as sky blue. Okay, so to do that, now I'd like you to just go ahead and then what? And bring the body tag. Okay, you come and call this body tag in the what? In the CSS, and then bring the what? The curly bracket. Now let me show you something in our Windows Paint overview. Now in our Windows Paint overview, you can see that we did what? Assign a background to it here, like a sky blue, and that is what we wanted to do. So let's go directly to the text editor and then demonstrate that. Okay, so I'll press enter and I'll just go ahead and type background color. So background dash color, COLOR, and I'll press enter. Then now when I'm going to use color heads. When I go by saying hash, I bring 3 zeros. Okay, now hash 3 zeros simply mean that I want the background should be black. Now as I've done this, let me click on file and click on save. Now when I right click here and I go to open in browser, you see that the background is black. Okay, so the background is black. You can also do, let me go back to my text editor and show you something. So we assign the background to red. So in our text editor, I don't want to use color heads, but I'll highlight on it and then use what? Red, R-E-D. And then click on file, click on save, and then I'll switch to my browser. Now in my browser, I'll go ahead and refresh. Ta-da! You can see there, that is red. Okay, now let's go back into our text editor and assign sky blue being our background color. Now in our text editor, we are going to use the color heads for the sky blue. So to do that, I'll just bring my hash, okay, and bring my small e and then do 0, and I'll go ahead small f and 7, and I'll go ahead f8. Okay, that's for my sky blue. Now let's look at how true that is it. Now for us to see how true that is, click on file and go ahead and click on save. After that, let's switch to our browser. Now in our browser here, I'll go ahead and click on refresh. Ta-da! Okay, you also have your sky blue and we are good to go. Okay, now as indeed we have our sky blue here, if you don't like this being a sky blue, you can equally click on new, and I'd like you to type HTML, okay, HTML what? Color, okay, so COLOR, okay, HTML color code. Then you come to this one where we have HTML color code. Click on the side by double clicking on it, and you see this display various color code. So if you want sky blue, just bring the mouse pointer to somewhere here. This look a little bit sky, okay, so this look a little bit sky blue for me. So let's select this one. Okay, this is okay, this is quite okay, look like sky, okay, like this very one here. So this is kind of sky blue, so I'll highlight on this, copy this, so just highlight on it and then right click on it, click on copy. Then after that, go back to your text editor. Then in your text editor, just highlight on this and click on paste. Then after that, click on file, click on save, and switch to your browser. So in my browser, when I refresh, ta-da, this becomes sky blue. Okay, now after we are done, so I'll just go ahead again and go to my text editor and then do my justification and also make my display flex. So far as what I want to justify everything in the body tag. So I'll go ahead and switch to my text editor. So indeed, as I am in my text editor, I'll put the cursor at the end point of my color so far as sky blue is concerned and press enter. Then I'll go ahead and say display. And the display, I'm going to say the display should be flex. Okay, now after I've done the display being flex, I'll press enter and I'll go ahead and say justify content. So justify content, and I'll say justify content, everything in the body tag should be centered. Then I'll go ahead and I want also everything in the body tag should be aligned center. So I'll go by saying align item center. Done. So after doing that, now I like my car should be at from the height to the center. I want it to be in 100 VA. So VH. So I'll go ahead and say height, and I'll do it 100 VH. Nice. Okay, now I've taken that from the way. Now anything when I bring my car is going to be centered. Okay, now after doing this, I'll go ahead and click on file and click on save. Okay, now we are going to call the car, okay, being the body, and then we are going to assign a background color to the car. But before then, remember that the car is in a particular shape. Let me share the Windows Paint overview for us to have a fair idea of what we are coding. So in my paint overview here, you can see this is the car, okay, where my mouse pointer is. Now the car is in kind of like a rectangle shape, and then we did it like kind of like a rounded rectangle where the edges are round. So we are going to create something we call a triangle. Okay, a triangle, then we turn it to a rectangle. So we want to make the width, okay, the width of that triangle. We want to do the width. We want the width should be 300 pixels. That's what we want. And we wanted to also do the height. Okay, we want to do the height also 100 pixels. Now let me just write that here. So the width here is going to be 300 pixels. And the height, which is from here to here, is going to be 100 pixels. So that is the idea we want to use. So from here to here is going to be 100 pixels, and the width from here to there is going to be 300. And then we can go ahead and fill in with the background color red. Okay, now having understood this, let me switch to my text editor and let's demonstrate that. So in my text editor, I'll go ahead and come and call the car. So I'll put the cursor at the end point of my current bracket, press enter, then I'll say .car. And bring my current bracket, go ahead, press enter, and now we want to position the rectangle in the center. So I'll say position, and I'll say relative. Nice. Then I'll go ahead and say width. And the width, I'm going to say 300 pixels as discussed in the paint overview. And then I'll go ahead and say height. And I'll do the height 100 pixels. Okay. Then after that, let me give it a background color red. So I'll go ahead and say background. And I'll do it color red. Okay. Then I'll go ahead and click on file and click on save. Okay, now I'm done. Let me go ahead and go to my browser and refresh for us to see, okay, how our car will display on our browser. So after switching, now I am in my browser. I'll go ahead and click on refresh. Ta-da! Okay, That is nice. So you can see it is at the middle. Now, as it is indeed, it is at the middle, I would like us to do something very interesting. Now, we want to change the edges of the triangle to rounded, to be round. Okay, now that's what I want us to do. So we call that border radius. Now the whole idea is, let me switch to the paint overview and then demonstrate something for you to understand. So as indeed I am in my paint overview, what we would like to do is that we want to change here. This is very simple. Pick a line, home. We want to change this. Okay, this edge here. We want to make that, okay, and also this edge. So probably we want to make that side very rounded. So we want to do that 20. Okay, we want to do that side. We want to do here 20 pixels. Okay, we want to do that edge rounded 20 pixels, and here also be 20 pixels, and the down will also be 10, and here also be 10. So we have here will be 10 here, and here will be 10, and the edge here also have to be 20, so that the whole thing become round. Okay, now as indeed we have understood that, let me switch to my text editor and use an element called border radius. In my text editor, I'll go ahead and press enter and go by saying border radius, and the border radius, the first two edge at the top is going to be 20 pixels by 20 pixels, which is the left and the right. Then the bottom is going to be 10 10, so it's going to be 10 pixels by 10 pixels. Okay, now as I am down here, I'll go ahead and click on file and click on save. Now let me switch to my browser. So as indeed I am in my browser, I'll go ahead and refresh. Ta-da! You can see here is what is kind of rounded, and we have what kind of round. Okay, that is it. Okay, now we are in the same track. Let that straight and move on. Okay, so then I'll switch to my text editor. So as indeed we are down with the car, the next thing we'll be looking at is the roof. Okay, the roof. Now if you don't know the roof, let me take you to the paint overview. In the paint overview, you can see this is the roof. We are going to deal with that. Okay, this is the roof. Okay, so to do that, switch to the text editor, and as indeed I am in the text editor, put the cursor at the end point of this curly bracket, go ahead and press enter, and then I'd like you to say roof, and bring the curly bracket, go ahead and press enter. Now we want to also position the roof. We want the roof to be absolute, exactly on the rounded rectangle. So we go by saying position, and we say it should be absolute. Okay, then we say now the top and the down edge. Okay, so the top, we want to make the top we want to do the top should be -40 pixels, and then we want to also do the left also 50 pixels. Then what we want to do, we want to now put the whole thing in a rectangle form, where we say the width. When the width should be 200 pixels, and we also want the height. Okay, the height also should be 40 pixels. It shouldn't be too long. Nice. Now let's give it a background of color red. Okay, my bad. Background. Okay, so the background color is color red. Done. Now when I save this, click on file and go ahead and click on save. Now let me switch to my browser. So as indeed I am in my browser, I'll go ahead and click on refresh. You see, so it is on point. But the funny thing is that when you watch the paint, on the paint, this very edge is round. This side is rounded, here is also rounded. So we wanted to also do that. The top should be rounded, and the left top also should be rounded. Okay, left right rounded, left top round, left right should also be rounded, but the bottom, because it is also red, is not showing, so we don't want it to show. So how do we do that? So to do that, let's switch to the text editor. So as indeed we are in the text editor, press enter and go ahead and say border radius. So with the border radius, the two top left and right, we want to do it 20 pixels. Okay, so the left is 20 pixels, the right is 20 pixels. Then the bottom, we want to do it 0 0, which we don't want to assign any pixels to that. So go ahead and click on what? File, and click on save. Now let's switch to the browser. Now as indeed we are in the browser, go ahead and then what? Refresh. Ta-da! You can see here has turned to what? 20 pixels what? Rounded. Here also 20 pixels rounded. Okay, I know you've gotten to this side and you are excited, okay, coding. Now let's go ahead and then work on the windows. Okay, so I'll go directly onto my text editor. So indeed, as indeed I am in my text editor. Now the window, bear in mind that we have left and right, but there's a trick I'd like us to use here. Now we want to set the windows and then set the background to the window because they are all using the same color. Now remember that we gave a background color for the window as sky blue, and that's the color we wanted to use, because when we switch to our Windows Paint overview, and you see the background color of our cartoon car is sky blue, and the window is also sky blue at the same. So that's what we wanted to depict. Okay, so now as you've understood this, let's move directly onto our text editor. Okay, now we are in our text editor. So as we are in the text editor, go ahead and put the cursor here. So at the end of my curly bracket, press enter. Now we are going to just call dot window. Now we want to use a particular window, which is like window being a name for all, and then we come and call left and right. So we'll say window curly bracket, and we'll say the position should be what? Should be absolute. Then we'll say that the top of the window should be what? Should be minus what? 30 pixels. Then after that, we'll say the width of the window. The width of the window should be what? Should be also 60 pixels. Then after that, we'll go ahead and say the height, okay, of the window should be also what? 30 pixels. Now let's give it a background color by using the background color we use for what? For our car. So we go ahead and say background. Then after that, let's scroll up and let's pick the background we use for the body. So highlight on it, click on edit, click on copy, scroll down and put a cursor here, click on edit and click on paste. Then go ahead and bring your curly bracket. Press enter. Then after you are done, what I'd like you to do is that now click on file and click on what? Save. Now after you are done here, let's go ahead and put our background in a rounded border radius. But before then, let me switch to the text editor for us to see. Click on file and click on save. Now let's switch to our text editor. Did I say text editor? Our browser. Okay, so go ahead and refresh. So this is our window. Okay, so we are going to display one here and the other here. So this is a window covering here. We're going to shift it. Okay, have you understood that? Let's go directly to our text editor. Okay, so now in our text editor, what we are going to do is that we are going to put the cursor here where the cursor is already. We'll say border radius. So in the border radius, we will say the border radius should be 5 pixels. Done. Now remember, we want to position the window side and side. So now we'll come and call the window left. So I'll highlight on this side, copy that, put the cursor at the end point of my curly bracket so far the window is concerned. Press enter and say dot, paste that. So dot window left, so that will be dot window left. So dot window left, that's what it's going to be. Okay, dot window space dot window left. Okay, so now bring your curly bracket, press enter, and then go ahead and say, as I just said, dot window left. So bring the mouse pointer here, and I'd like you to go ahead and say what left, and say the left should be 60 pixels. Now click on file and save that. Then after that, I'd like you to come back here, press enter, and say dot window dot what right. Then bring your curly bracket, press enter, then you say right, and also say 60 pixels. Now when you go ahead and click on file and click on save, and then you switch to your browser to refresh, your window will be positioned. Let's look at that. Now go ahead and refresh. Ta-da! Okay, so that is our window, our car here. This is the window here, is positioned nicely. Okay, now the next thing we're looking at is we are going to now focus on the wheel, where we'll put the wheel here and the tie will be there nicely. So how do we do this? Now let's switch to the text editor and do that. Now in our text editor, we are going to use the same format we use here for what? For the wheel. So I'm going to then go ahead and put the cursor here, press enter, and say dot wheel, and bring my curly bracket, then press enter, go ahead and come and copy from here. Okay, from here, because we want to do the window a button. Okay, but by the way, for you to copy, let's code from scratch so that this guy can get the whole concept step by step. So go ahead and say position should be absolute. Then you say we want to turn the wheel as a button. So say button and do it minus 20 pixels. Then after that, we want to go ahead and then assign the width, height, and the width and height of the wheel. Now remember, we are turning the wheel, we are creating a square, and then we will turn the square to a circle. So it's going to be wheel, which is going to be 50 pixels, and the height is also going to be 50 pixels. Then we'll go ahead and then click on file and save that. Now for us to see the effect of our square, put a cursor here, press enter, and bring background. And let's say, remember we use hash 0030 as for black. So after that, go ahead, click on file and click on save. Now when we go back to our browser, you see that we'll have a square something. Let's look at it. Now in my browser, when I go ahead and refresh, you will see this is my square. But hey, I want to turn it to be round. So as it is square, I want to turn it to be round. I have to change the border radius to 50%. Then it to be round. Let's look at that. So in my text editor, put the cursor here, press enter, and I'd like you to go ahead and say border radius and say 50%. After that, go ahead and click on file and click on save. Now switch to your browser. In your browser, go ahead and click on refresh. Ta-da! You can see it is round. Okay, now the same manner we did to the window, we are going to set wheel left, and we say position it should be positioned to the left, so left, and we are going to make that one also also 30, and we'll do wheel right, also is going to be write 30. Let's look at that. So now, as I am in my text editor, I'll go ahead and put a cursor here, press enter. So, and I'll go by saying that dot will, okay, dot left, and bring my current bracket, press enter. Then now I'll go ahead and say left, then I'll say 30 pixels. Now press enter, and I'm done. Then I'll bring the mouse pointer here again, press enter again, then you say dot will dot right. Then you say right should also be 30 pixels. Done. Now when you go ahead and click on file and click on save, when you switch to your browser, let's switch to the browser for you to see what I'm talking about. In our browser, when we go ahead and refresh, now you can see, okay, I know you are happy. So if you're happy, then you have to say what I say, coding club. You have to respond by saying, yay, I'm now a coding club. You can see here, we just code what our cartoon car. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I know you are smiling, and indeed you are continuing to smile. Keep on watching. If you're new to this channel, don't forget, just subscribe. Anytime we drop a video like this, you will be notified, and indeed you will then get the whole concept as to how to code. If you're out there, you want to support the children, so far as helping them to support them to get a laptop for themselves so they can go ahead and execute and practice more to know, you can click on the link. There's a link in the description, so you can just go ahead and then support the children. Thank you guys so much. Catch you in the next lesson. Bye bye.